The Senate President, Bukola Saraki, his deputy, Ike Ekweremadu, a former clerk of the National Assembly, Salisu Mekesua, and his deputy, Benedict Efeturi, are accused of illegally altering the Senate standing rule used in electing leaders and inaugurating the upper legislative chamber on June 9, 2015.
I, Abubakar Bukola Saraki,
do solemnly swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
to
the Federal Republic of Nigeria,
and
that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So help me God.
Senator Saraki emerged as Senate President of the 8th Assembly in an unopposed nomination through the votes of 57 senators, who were mostly of his former party, the PDP. He was the only candidate nominated on the floor of the Senate, as his contender, Senator Hamad Lawan, and some of his supporters were absent.
It is my honor and privilege to second the nomination of the distinguished Senator Ike Ekweremadu for the office of the Deputy President of the Senate.
The events of June 9, 2015, which also threw up Ike Ekweremadu of the PDP as the Deputy Senate President, has been viewed by a cross-section of political watchers as controversial. This is where the story begins. The federal government initiates a forgery suit against the Senate President, Bukola Saraki, and his deputy, Senator Ike Ekweremadu, and two others, alleged to have invoked the usage of bogus Senate standing rules for the June 9, 2015 election, through which both Saraki and Ekweremadu took over the leadership of the Senate.
The legislative agenda of the 8th Senate is anchored on three cardinal objectives of improving governance, improving business, and improving livelihood. We believe that legislative activities that sustainably improve on these three indicators will improve the economy and ultimately guarantee a better life for our people.
The federal government maintains that the defendants had, by their conduct, committed an offense punishable under Section 97, subsection 1, and 364 of the Penal Code Act. June 27, 2016. The trial begins after Justice Yusuf of the Federal Capital Territory High Court in Abuja had asked the prosecution to issue notice of summons for the matter to the defendants. The court premises is jam-packed with supporters of the embattled lawmakers to observe the proceeding. Heavy security presence is also mounted within perimeters of the court. The four accused persons plead not guilty and immediately filed bail applications separately.
The charges were read, conspiracy and forgery, and they pleaded not guilty to them.
Though the Director of Public Prosecution, Mr. Mohammed Diri, representing the federal government, did not oppose Saraki's bail request, it, however, urged the courts to deny the other defendants bail, citing evasion of previous service of charge on them. He mentions that the federal government's decision not to oppose Saraki's bail application is to ensure that legislative business in the Senate was not hampered.
Introduced 299 bills.
In delivering a bench ruling on the matter, the trial justice Yusuf Halilu insists that the essence of bail was to ensure the liberty of an accused person who under the law is presumed innocent until proven guilty.
I oppose bail for the first, second and fourth defendants I did not oppose bail for the third defendant, that is the Senate President, and I gave my reason to the court that we don't intend to disturb the conduct of the legislative business on the floor of the Senate. And so there was no reason to oppose his bail since the offenses for which he is being arraigned before the court are bailable offenses.
Well, the prosecution is doing the traditional job of a prosecutor. Ordinarily, I shouldn't see any reason why bail should be objected to. But being a prosecutor, he has to do his job. And we on the other side have to do our job. But the Administration of Criminal Justice Act is very, very clear. It makes bail very liberal, except if there are reasons why you feel that bail should not be granted. Like they raised the issue of likelihood of the defendants not coming to take their trial, but they didn't show any reason why they feel they cannot come to take their trial, particularly considering the status of the defendants. Mekasua, the first defendant, is clerk to the National Assembly, equivalent of head of service. The second is his deputy, second accused. The third defendant is the Senate President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, and the fourth defendant is his deputy. I can't imagine them running away from trial. Where are they going to run to?
The court fixes July 11, 2016 to commence a full-blown trial of the defendants. In the midst of this, the Senate believes the federal government is witch-hunting the legislature and making it a target of intimidation aimed at forcing a leadership change in the Senate. As the Senate President is also already standing trial over other corruption charges. The allegation against the federal government is, however, debunked by the Secretary to the federal government, Mr. David Babachi Lawal, also in a statement.
I found it ridiculously amusing, the position of the federal government via the Secretary to the government of the Federation. As it is, can you demarcate the office of the President of the Senate from the person of Senator Saraki? The answer is no. Why are they coming out now to say there was a forgery document? Whereas even the clerk of the National Assembly said the document in question was never in use during the election that threw up Saraki as the President of the Senate. Secondly, right from the moment Saraki and Ekweremadu emerged as the President and Deputy President respectively, you will observe and you will agree with me that there have been orchestrated attempts to cripple them and clip their wings. I don't think that will help Nigeria as a country. As it is, we should do things that will respect all the various arms of government. The Senate presidency must be respected. The sanctity of the Senate must be respected. But as a Nigerian and as a man who believes in the rule of law, I strongly believe that what they are doing is not correct. The National Assembly is an independent arm of government, just like the presidency, just like the judiciary. So you should allow leadership to emerge amongst them. Let them experiment. Let them try. Let them fail. From these trial and failures, they will come out stronger. And so, if they sat and leadership emerge, I think it is incumbent on the executive arms of government and the other arms of government to support such leadership. So, because by so doing, that is the only way we can grow and deepen our democracy. But as it is now, should Saraki be removed, it is obvious that that institution will be weakened considerably.